Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 just got a ton of news. We're going to talk about all of their post-launch content plans that has just been revealed. And if you guys are looking at the gameplay right here, this is actually my gameplay. I've been playing the game for about 70 hours since early January. So a huge thank you to Warhorse Studios for actually providing me with the code so I could play the game early and give you guys coverage. I'll be giving you guys my spoiler-free first impressions of KCD2 from what I'm allowed to talk about. I'll be keeping it really vague in this video for the impressions. I don't want to spoil anything about this game. It is so good that you'll just have to experience the game yourself. Now, another thing that I'm going to showcase on this video is PlayStation 5 gameplay. So I've been playing the game on PC as well as PS5, and I know a big request that people have had is, what does the game look like on PS5? Well, I'm going to show you guys. We have a lot to cover, guys, so check the video chapters for easy viewing, and let's dive in. So to start this video off, let's talk about the post-launch plans for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. We got the official roadmap from Warhorse that they just posted recently. So yeah, heading over to the roadmap itself, as you guys can see on the screen right here, we have free updates in spring of 2025. The first update being added is set to release in spring of 2025, and it is the Barber feature. So if you want to modify Henry's haircut as well as facial hair. Now, you were able to modify Henry's haircut and facial hair in KCD1, so the fact that they're adding it back as a free update for this game is really good news. Now, hopefully they expand the amount of options for haircuts as well as different beard options. That'd be awesome as well, but we will just have to wait and see. Now, the next update that we're getting to the game is also set to release in spring, and that is a hardcore mode, which is another returning feature from KCD1. I'm sure it's going to be probably around the same, but they might have some tricks up their sleeves to make it really spicy. Now, in hardcore mode from KCD1, there's no auto save, and you can only save the game by drinking savior schnapps, getting full service in a bathhouse, or on exit from the game, obviously. Now, the survival aspect in KCD1 for hardcore, your current health and stamina are indicated only by in-game effects you see. Now, another feature from KCD1 was the map and navigation. Henry's position is not shown on the map, and there are no points on the compass. Now, waypoints are shown on the compass, but only when you get close enough, and fast travel is not possible in hardcore mode either. Now, the money and equipment from KCD1's hardcore mode, traders pay less when buying items, and monetary rewards in general are lower, while on the contrary, extensive repairs are more costly, and the drawbacks of using damaged equipment are more serious. And then the combat from KCD1, duels are more realistic, attacks have a greater impact, and engaging without quality armor with an experienced foe will always be very risky. The cursor has no direction points or block indicator in combat, and you can only time blocks and dodges by carefully watching your opponent's moves. So that's how hardcore worked in KCD1. I'm sure similar, or if not basically every option from KCD1 will return, with I'm sure some added extras to kind of spice up the experience. And finally, the last update headed to KCD2 in the spring is horse racing. Now, this brings us to the expansion pass for KCD2. In the video, they said new adventures await the brave, extend Henry's story with the expansion pass. So we have 3 story DLC that we know so far. In summer of 2025, we have the Brushes with Death DLC story. And then in autumn or fall of 2025, we have the Legacy of the Forge. And finally, in the winter, we have Mysteria Ecclesiae, which that story is going to be about a secret monk community. Can't wait to see what it's about. It looks and sounds really cool. Now, one thing that's worth mentioning is all of the DLC and stuff that I talked about is all subject to change in terms of the release window. So that gives them kind of a 3-month window between each seasonal update to get the content out. I'm sure we'll know about the release date closer to the launch, or like as we get closer to summer, we'll know about the Brushes of Death release date and so on and so forth with the autumn and winter updates as well. But either way, I think this is a really solid post-launch roadmap for KCD2, and I can't wait to play all of the new story DLC. So like I mentioned at the start of the video, I've been playing KCD2 for the better half of this month. I started in early January, and I'm 70 hours into the experience, and to just jump right into my impressions, holy freaking crap, Jesus Christ be praised, they pulled it off, guys. This game is genuinely the definitive Kingdom Come Deliverance experience. I'm telling you guys, my jaw was on the floor experiencing the first 2 hours of the game, and I'm 70 hours in, and they have not let up at all. Like, the second you press start on the game, you are immediately just encapsulated into this gritty experience that feels like a never-ending action movie that just gets better and better as you play. And I'm telling you this much right here, here. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is one of the best sequels to a video game series I have ever played, and it could be the best ever, and I'm not even memeing. Like, this is insane. KCD2 is what happens when you give a company like Warhorse Studios a seemingly unlimited budget to just say, hey, go make the best thing ever, and boy did they do it. The facial animations, the writing, the pacing of the game, the devs left no stone unturned. I love the new updated combat system, and straight up, like, they could have taken the first 5 hours of KCD2, put it standalone on the market by itself, and that would still be better than most of the AAA games releasing nowadays. Also, I have to talk about the acting. Henry of Skalitz and Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein are the dynamic duo. Step aside Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter, Joel and Ellie. Henry and Hans are the official new GOAT. Like, these guys are so funny together. You can tell that the actors who actually play Henry and Hans have a really good dynamic together. So huge props and shout out to Luke Dale, aka Hans Capon himself, and of course the legendary Henry Tom McKay. And I'm just gonna say it straight up right here. I better see a live action movie or show with Luke Dale and Tom McKay reprise their role as Henry and Hans in some sort of live action project. So Netflix, HBO, whatever, whoever, make it happen. I gotta see it straight up. Unless it conflicts with another Kingdom Come Deliverance game, then in that case I'll shut up. But still, I'd like to see something live action with those guys. They're great. Now, going back to the actual gameplay itself and the graphics, like, it's what you expect. What you're seeing on screen is live gameplay of me playing KCD2. It's great. The gameplay is amazing. And what I like about KCD2 is they kind of format the game so if you're a new player or you haven't played KCD1 or you just didn't really mesh with that game, KCD2 is the definitive way to play Kingdom Come Deliverance. Like, I would still recommend playing the first game, but if you didn't really mesh with the gameplay or anything like that, pull up a YouTube video and just watch the full story or watch other Let's Plays of people playing it, because it really is a good game. But like I said, if you want to just experience KCD2, you're able to do that. Like, you don't have to have all the context. Like, you'll be missing some of the story beats of KCD1, but for the most part, they do a good job at filling in some of the context from the first game in KCD2. Now, in terms of the performance, I've played the game on a Steam Deck, I played the game on a PlayStation 5, and of course I played it on PC. Now, the overall PC performance will obviously be dependent on what kind of hardware you have. Like, if you're going into KCD2 with like a really old graphics card, then you might have a bad time, so just look at the recommended spec requirements. But for my PC, I am running on a 10700K. It's an older CPU, but I also have a 4090, which is straight up overkill for my CPU, so I've got a bottleneck there. But overall, my experience on PC was really good. And out of 70 hours of game time, I have only crashed one time, so that's also pretty good news. And as I mentioned, I also played the game on Steam Deck, which was a pretty solid experience. I only limited the frame rate to like 30 FPS, and it was an experience about what you would expect. I will leave all of that technical stuff to people like Digital Foundry. And then of course, I played the game on PS5 as well. And as you guys can see on the screen right here, this right here is PlayStation 5 gameplay for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So the console performance targets for KCD2 are as followed. For the Xbox Series S, 30 FPS at 1080p, and then for the X, there's 30 FPS at an upscaled 4K quality mode. And then for Xbox Series X as well, in 1440p mode, in performance mode, it's at 60 FPS. For 4K in quality mode on PS5, it's at 30 FPS. And then there's the PS5 performance mode at 1440p at 60 FPS as well. And then PlayStation 5 Pro is at 4K at 60 FPS. So to end this video, I will leave you guys some PlayStation 5 gameplay. It will be cut because I have to cut the gameplay, but it will be raw with all of the audio and everything. And like I said before at the start of the video, I'm keeping my impressions vague for this video as I'm covering news, but stay tuned to the channel because I will be going in depth with my overall preview of KCD2 as well as my review, which I'll be pushing live closer to when the game launches. But that's going to wrap it up with this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Enjoy this PlayStation 5 gameplay for KCD2.
True blood! Yeah! You can't get away from me. I'll kill you, you cunt!
We'll hand over our important message and then hop, skip to the nearest tavern. We'll drink to our success and chase some local wenches, eh?
Yeah!
What's all the fuss about, Mutt? Are you that hungry? All right, I'll see what I can get for you.
Well, hoorah! It's all one little game.
Sweet! Nice!